Oh,
Right.
I did it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we will go for 60 minutes. We'll do a whole hour of channeling, and I will
Yes.
see you when we are all finished. I hope you have a
Yes,
great time
thank you.
today.
Yes.
You're very welcome. All right, it is our species' highest joy and passion to be able to interact with you in this way through this channel this day. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm very fine. Thank you. How about you?
We are also doing quite well, very fine as well. Thank you for asking. And how may we assist you in your exploration of physical reality?
Oh, yes. So my friends have many questions about time leap.
Oh, how exciting. How timely that they're asking about time leaps.
Yes.
For you are experiencing now in your collective an acceleration in your shifting rate. It means you're shifting more quickly. Our species has said in the past, you are shifting reality billions of times per second. That is now increasing billions upon billions of times per second. You are beginning to shift reality so much more rapidly. Things are manifesting as a result much more quickly. Things are speeding up. Things are accelerating. And it will lead your species into total nowness. It will be as if you all occupy the same present moment. You won't see people stuck in the past or stuck in the future on your planet anymore. People are going to become grounded in the moment. And from that grounded anchor point that is the present moment, your species shall expand into the stars.
Okay. So in Japan, time leap means that only the consciousness returns to the past body to stir to life again from that point. It is not like a time slip in which the entire body is transported by a vehicle, but rather only the consciousness returns to the past. So it is a phenomenon in which only one's own consciousness travels through time and space, and that consciousness is transferred to the body of one's past or future self.
Yes, this is oftentimes described as a walk-in.
Yeah. So for example, there is a story about a mother who was involved in a bicycle accident and woke up as an elementary school student. This kind of phenomenon is called time leap in Japan. Today, I would like to ask questions on the main theme of consciousness time leap.
So, sure. So this phenomenon actually has to do with the idea of a person who possesses a consciousness that is so large that they're actually able to manifest as multiple people. It's like one body cannot hold them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Think of it being so big, they'd need two bodies to hold their energy. Well, one of those bodies may exist in the future. One of those bodies may exist in the past. That one in the past may have developed up until a certain point, and perhaps that represented that body's harvest point. What we mean is your body is growing your soul. It's growing your spirit. You're evolving yourself through anchoring into the body. At a certain point, your soul and spirit reach a certain stage or certain level of development. You could say they are like a plant that has reached maturity, spiritual maturity. And when that happens, sometimes The consciousness whom is controlling both bodies will simply absorb the soul and spirit from the one body they have been living in, and they then just transport it into the second body, because the second body is the one they're more concerned with. Yes, yes. And that past self, in a sense, may actually continue. It may not actually translate as that past self dying. They may continue. In a sense, it can be as if the soul and spirit are copied, yes? And then are inserted into that future self. And then that person in the past wakes up as the future self. That's one way it can happen. And of course, other ways it can happen are the past self actually dies when they go to sleep, and they're just transferred immediately to who their future self would be. Without a life review, without anything like that, they just continue. Because again, that future self really is just them. It's still their soul, yes? It's like their soul has extended into two people. So in a certain way, it's not even like they really died. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, all right.
So this is a similar example, but first one is, for example, one person has a story about going from being 21st years old back to being 13 years old as a junior high school. He says that in his dream, he was playing soccer as a junior high school student, and it became his reality. Is it really possible for such a dream to become reality?
Of course, yes, because when you dream, you are dreaming in a multidimensional state of mind. It's not like normal linear thinking. Multidimensional thinking means your thoughts can penetrate through space and time. Your thoughts can penetrate into other realities, and it can allow you to see the future. Yes? You can actually see the future before it happens. Absolutely. Yes, because the future exists right now. It exists inside the present. It is like the future is a plant. Yes, and the plant grows from a seed. Yes, but the seed has within it the DNA of the plant. The whole story of that plant is in the DNA. Well, that seed is in the present moment. The present moment contains the seed that grows into the plant or the tree that is the future. So you already contain knowledge of what will happen in the future within you right now. The story of the future lives within you. And in dreams, you have an opportunity to reveal that to yourself. Does that make sense?
So could you explain in detail how it works, please?
Sure. Well, the idea is that you can make contact with your future self when you go to sleep. So at night, when your consciousness resonates more greatly, vibrationally speaking, with the astral plane, your consciousness can then open up different portals that allow for you to access information from different versions of yourself. For example, you could interact with a self that you'll be 2 weeks from now and receive information from 2 weeks in the future. You could interact with a version of yourself that's 3,000 years in the future and receive very deep spiritual wisdom and guidance. You, of course, could also open up portals to the past, and you could interact with past versions of yourself. And the idea is it is your higher self, your higher consciousness that is doing all of this. Your physical self oftentimes has no knowledge that this is happening, but the higher self, because it's not bound by space and time in the same way that the physical self is able to access easily, conveniently, whatever information is needed for physical self to thrive in physical reality. So what we would say is, in order to access that higher self level of consciousness so you can communicate with past or future selves in your dream, what we would advise is meditate on the energies of the higher self before you go to bed. Use certain rituals, use certain tools, use certain exercises to get yourself into the higher self state of mind before sleep, and then you'll become conscious of these portals that we're talking about, and you can increase different skills. For example, you can increase your skill of prophecy, which is where you have a vision of the future and you know what will happen. That's a muscle. You can train that. You can become literally a prophet if you wanted to, with enough refinement, with enough training. So what we would advise is write your higher self a letter, like a prayer or a letter of affection and appreciation before bed. Sign it. You can even put nice oils on it so it smells good. You can draw on it, decorate it, but put it under your pillow. Sleep with this, and each night write to your higher self. You will start to dream with your higher self. And then when you wake up in the morning, write back. Yes? Write your response. Yes? So in the morning, write your dream down. Write the higher self's response to your message down, because your dream will be a response to the letter. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
All right, excellent.